It's not when we speak our truth that matters. It's how we speak our truth that matters. And that is what I'm going to be talking to you about today. And now is the perfect time, with everything that is going on in the world at the moment and everything that we're having to endure on varying degrees, exactly why it's really important for us now to speak up about how we feel and what our opinions are. And I'm going to be explaining to you exactly why that's important. So before I do, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and the bell icon that will notify you when I'm posting, which is generally every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Always forgetting the days of the week. Okay, so, oh my God, have you noticed just how many different opinions there are at the moment about COVID? You know, how people are choosing or not choosing to accept it, what their opinions are about it, and how differing they are to your own opinion. And not only that, it's like, you know, what's Boris doing? What hasn't he done? Why didn't he do this? Has he done this right? Has he done that right? Why didn't he do this sooner? You know, is it a conspiracy theory? There are so many things going on at the moment that are in conflict to our own truths and how we feel about the situation. And I have been speaking to a variety of different people that have been explaining to me how they feel so drained of energy listening to people talking about their truths when it comes to COVID or when it comes to Boris. And they have not felt they've been able to have a voice, to be heard about what they think. And so not only has it been really draining from an energy perspective for them, they've remained silent. And that silence can and has, from the people I've been speaking to, created a lot of hostility internally. And they're holding on to a lot of, not hurt, but upset about this. So how can we start to speak our truth? And I really do feel that now, because of the varying levels or the differing opinions that are out there about COVID and about Boris and about, you know, the economy and about the reasons why, that it's really important, because this is affecting every single one of us, again, on varying degrees. It is affecting all of us. So it's time to be brave and to speak our truth. How can we do this and still be accepted and accept the other person as they are, even if their opinions are different? So what I'm going to start by sharing with you is, before you engage in a conversation about how you're going to talk about your truth, number one, think about, first and foremost, is what you're going to be saying kind? Is it necessary, and is it helpful? Now, I currently feel that being able to express my truths more, not just about COVID, but about lots of different things, my opinion is, if I can do it in a kind way, if it's necessary to me, and if it's going to be helpful to me and or the other person, then that's a bonus. So if we can tick all those three boxes, we can move on. So once we know that it's going to be kind, necessary, and helpful, we can move on. And this is where we can start opening up the conversation. This is all about cultivating the opposite, putting ourselves in their shoes. And we do this by asking questions, simply. So if somebody, let's, you know, we're going to use COVID as an example, because that is really prominent in all of our minds. And so say, for example, somebody has a completely opposite opinion to you regarding COVID and what Boris is doing. So how can we come from a compassionate place of understanding, not necessarily accepting what they're saying, but understanding So we can then enable us to show our truths about what our opinions are and feel brave enough to do that and confident. So we want to start by asking questions. So if somebody has a really strong opinion about it, start asking questions. Wow, tell me more. Why is it you came to that opinion? Why do you feel that way? That will open up a conversation. Not only are you then showing that person that they are being heard and seen and valued because they have an opinion, you're also going to learn and understand where that came from in the first place. So once we've asked the questions, we can then move forwards, not necessarily agreeing with what they say. You don't have to agree and accept what they say is true to you, but you now have an understanding of where they're coming from. And that can be really, really helpful. It could even change your perspective on things and make you think more about your truths. So first and foremost, we want to open up the conversation and have a calm, compassionate conversation that makes the other person feel heard, accepted, valued, seen, etc. Once we've got that understanding, they may or may not ask about your truths. So this is where you can step up and where you're going to be brave and where you're going to show them and explain to them what your truth is. They will then either ask you questions, which hopefully they will, because you would have been engaging in a conversation now, or you can offer them the answers as to why you came to your decision and your opinion. Now, again, that other person doesn't have to accept what you feel and what you think is correct. They don't have to accept that. But what will generally happen is that you'll both come to an understanding and an acceptance that this is what they think and this is why, this is what you think and this is why, and that's okay. You don't have to have that hostility that you're holding deep inside you. And I can't tell you the amount of conversations I'm having, and I've also felt with a couple of people in my life, like their extreme views are just hideous. That's my opinion. Absolutely hideous. And that's my opinion because I don't understand why they've come to that, their truth, because I haven't asked the questions. So I'm still left thinking, how can they do that? How can they think that that's safe and that isn't? I don't get it. But I haven't asked the questions. I haven't cultivated the opposite. I haven't put myself in their shoes. Now, whilst I don't get it, I don't hold any hostility. As long as they're showing up being kind and caring and loving, that for me is more important. And they can be doing, think what they want. But if I wanted to, if it created hostility inside of me, I could actually say to them, can you just explain to me how you think this compared to this? And, you know, I could get a conversation going. That's my choice. It's not affecting me, so I haven't bothered. But if we are being affected and if we are being drained by other people's energy about COVID or about Boris or about the economy or about the world in general, you know, it's our choice then to choose to be brave, to step up, to get evidence, to understand, which will teach us so much about the other person and why they think the way they think. And we can share our truths too. It's so important not to hold on to any hostility, especially at the moment. There's too much going on, let alone having people's opinions being dumped on us and not being able to speak back in a way that is kind, necessary, and helpful to us. So once we've done that, what you'd be looking for is to have an ending of a conversation where you both understand where you each come from and you both accept each other's opinions, truths. Don't have to agree with it. You can accept that's what the other people think, the other person thinks. And that is how you can release hostility, you can release resentment, you can release maybe pulling back from people, you can release maybe ignoring them. Maybe that's what you've been doing because the last thing you want to do is hear from somebody going on again negatively about stuff or things that you don't agree with. it releases everything. So going back to the beginning, it is not it's not when you tell your truth, but it's how you tell your truth. So remind yourself, is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it helpful before you share your truth? It's going to be showing up being brave. It's opening up a conversation. It's asking questions. And it's then enabling you to have the choice to have a voice, to share your truth, and for that other person to ask you questions, or for you to give them the answers of why you think this. And it's okay if we disagree, but we've released that hostility that we've been holding on to us, inside us. I really hope that's helped. Like I said, a lot of people I know at the moment are carrying the negative or differing opinions of other people's, and holding that pain inside because they've not been able to open up and to speak exactly how they feel and what their truths are. And if there was ever a time to open up and just be open and honest, kind, helpful, necessary, remembering that way, where you can both accept each other still, but understand that your opinions are different. I really hope that's helped. Cultivating the opposite, putting yourself in their shoes. For me, yeah, it does really, really help. And I do that a lot. I'm a very questionable person. So it does really, really help me. And I am going to be doing it more and more and more as more opinions will come towards me. I'm going to be able to stand up and explain my truth coming from a kind, calm, compassionate place. Good luck with it. If you give this a go, I really hope you do. Please don't forget to comment below. I'd love to hear how it goes. And yeah, share your stories of when you've been brave enough to share your truth, whether it's about COVID or anything. And hopefully you've had an amazing outcome. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.